Good morning. This is Pam Lippitt from the Hill Street Group. And as people know, over the last month or so, I have been doing spotlights on small business because I think and when I say small, I mean really micro small. The small business with 70 different locations is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who are either in the gig economy, sales, but really working during this time to continue their business and be successful. So this morning, I am happy to welcome a relatively new friend of mine, John Isenberg. And John is from the company Elijah Information Technology. We'll talk a little bit about what he does, what's going on during the pandemic, and what he sees in sales and representing clients going forward. So good morning, John. How are you?
Doing fine, Pam. Good morning.
Good morning. It's an interesting time, but it's a good time to showcase what's going on different places. So I took my stimulus check, my $1,200, and really looked at different ways to put it back into the economy. Mm-hmm. I could have socked it away, and it's probably, now that I look at it, maybe that would have been good, but I really wanted to use it to grow my business. So one of the things that I've been putting off for a while was joining a chamber. And I joined the Bloomfield Birmingham Chamber here in Southeast Michigan. And John became my ambassador or my mentor for my welcome into the chamber. And that's how we know each other. And so welcome, John. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, how much time do we have? Okay.
But not that much.
Okay.
5 minutes.
I've been involved in the information technology field for 23 years. Oh, prior to that, I was in insurance sales and underwriting and marketing for 21 years. So been around the block once or twice before. When I started in information technology, I worked for a large insurance company. They kept me for 13 years, decided to lay me off. I started my own company, kept it for 8.5 years, so that with an opportunity to work with the company I sold it to, which is Elijah. We developed an information technology division, and I provide all the IT-related activities for the company.
So what drove you to sales? I come from a sales background, and even though I've worked in nonprofit and different areas of things, in the end of the day, I think everything is sales once mm-hmm. you go to work. So, but you're truly in sales. So what drove you there, and what do you think is a good quality of a good salesperson?
Well, everything you do in every part of the day of your life is sales related. Mm-hmm. If you're going out to get coffee, you want to greet someone, you want to talk to somebody that you don't know, it's a sales process because you have to introduce yourself. You have to have a conversation. It also can be termed networking. It's all the same thing. So sales is just a part of life. I got into sales a long time ago when I was starting my insurance business, and I had to go out and meet people. So by talking with people, by introducing myself, to creating conversations, builds trust. And trust helps to build opportunities. Opportunities is what generates your business and helps you grow.
Right, that sales pipeline.
Yes.
So tell me, we're going to jump around a little bit, and you can pop in with things that interest you too. But I'm finding, even though I actually feel I'm an introvert, and which makes people laugh, once I get in the door, I thrive at networking. So this whole pandemic thing has been really kind of kooky for me because we're not, mm-hmm. even though we're Zooming a lot and seeing new people, it's not the same. It's there's just something missing. So what are you doing right now to kind of like flip that switch to meet new people?
Well, I'm attending as many events as I can. Now, mm-hmm. none of them are in person due to current health conditions, but I'm attending many networking events as possible. Mm-hmm. For the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber, I attend an average of 1 to 2 meetings a week.
Oh, very
And
good.
I purposely get on, and what I'll do is on the Zoom calls, because those are Zoom calls, after my name, I will put a slash, which is the one above the enter key on the keyboard, followed by my company name, because this way it creates the visibility that you need so that people know who you are and can associate your name with the company. So I did not do that for this session, but I could have if I wanted to. I'm also a member of another networking group that meets on a weekly basis.
Okay.
And create conversations, meet with vendors, meet with people that I've met through the chamber and through other events through a Zoom call. I mean, this is the closest thing to being there.
Right. And I think it's going to be the closest thing for quite a while. So
at least till the end of 2021.
I think so.
And the basic reason for that is people are working at home and they're not in an office setting. They're not going out for lunch. They're not going out for coffee. They're going to have Zoom calls or team calls or Ring Central or any other type of Google Voice or any other type of events that they will do online. And it's done that way from a safety standpoint. I mean, I could go grab my mask over there and put it on. So I seem like we're in person, but it defeats the purpose. There's a lot of activity that you do when you meet with people is facial expressions.
Right.
And with the mask covering everything, you can't see. You can only, now you have to make the facial expressions using your eyebrows and crinkle up your.
Right.
So people know that you're smiling.
Well, I think eventually we're going to end up with those masks that have a clear spot here. Those were developed a couple years ago for in the hospital for surgeries. A woman who was deaf developed them when she had a baby because she couldn't read lips when she was in the operating room. And so she felt very, very disconnected. And from desperation comes, the results. And so there's a lot of those masks I'm starting to see. A friend of mine actually made some to give to the hospitals. So we'll see we'll figure it out. It's gonna become somewhat normal place. So we're gonna have to figure it out. Yeah, so tell me a little bit. We'll flip over a little bit to the real purpose of the call, and you can tell me a little bit more about Elijah. So sometimes it's called Elijah, sometimes Elijah Information Technology, but it's the same company. And so tell me kind of what you do, what the strengths are of the company, and why someone listening to this call might be interested.
Okay, there's two divisions of the company, Elijah and Elijah IT.
Okay.
Elijah, which is the parent company, is owned by two individuals, and they work in the area of computer and digital forensics. It's a unique area of technology that allows you to search for information on computers, mobile devices, smartphones, laptops, network servers, basically any type of device that holds some type of data can be searched to search for information. So for an example, many years ago, and I'm sorry I can't discuss the names of the companies, there was a movie set being held in a large Southwest city where somebody leaked the script.
Oh, I remember that.
And what we were hired to do was to image or make a copy of every single device and then search every single device to find who was the one that leaked it. I'm happy to say that we were successful. Wow. But it was a very long process because there are hundreds of people that work on a set.
So you were able to get into each computer that was part of the
computer, mobile device, smart device. Yes.
Wow. So
and just to share with you, it's not as easy as plugging a device into another one. There's a substantial amount of education, a substantial amount of training, and you need to be certified to be able to perform any of the forensic functionalities.
Well, and you probably have to get through a lot of firewalls and a lot of different.
There's a lot of things to do. We'll just leave it as that there's a lot to do.
Yes, yeah. Well, it was interesting. I was talking to a friend yesterday and saying we were doing this, and this was part of what the company does. And her daughter was here in town, though she's from New York, and she was here for a few weeks. And she was supposed to have a call, Zoom with someone, and they ended up having to cancel it because he was working at home, but the firewall from work wouldn't let him through. Mm-hmm. And he didn't want to get on his personal computer because he said, well, if the firewall from work is stopping something, I don't want to go around what it's doing because it's obviously stopping something for a reason, which kind of leads into this new piece that you're doing.
Okay.
That you can talk about a little bit.
Before you go into we discussed the new piece, let me tell you the second half of the company, which is Elijah IT.
Okay.
Elijah IT is a managed services company. So we provide services for small businesses designed for under 50 employees, but we can go larger, providing all their technology support, whether it's supporting their computers, printers, servers, network equipment, firewalls, switches, at wireless access points, pretty much anything. And we do everything with a 4-hour service guarantee.
Wow. Okay. That's very
good. During our standard business hours, which are 7:30 a.m. until 8 p.m., Monday through Friday, we have a 4-hour service guarantee. So we will be on the job doing what needs to get done and getting it resolved ASAP.
Most of what has to get done gets done through the background. You're not on site.
In this day and age, since March, the end of March of 2020, 95% of all the work we do is remote.
Yeah.
We do go on site for a few clients because you can't do the work remotely. You have to physically be on site, such as there's a power outage. Well, I can't connect to a computer if there's no power.
Correct.
So, and then other related activities, usually a new hire coming in the door that needs physical touching. Again, touching is touching of a computer, not touching of a person.
Right, of course.
Okay.
And then I just want to remind people, if anyone has a question, I'm trying to kind of follow on the Facebook Live feed, even though we're using a different service here to send this out. So if you have a question now, or if you're watching this in a replay, just put a comment in the comment section and we'll either get to you during the call or one of us will follow up with you after the call, because we want to answer your questions. And certainly one of the reasons I'm doing this is to promote Elijah and the work they're doing, because it's really important today. The big boys, I was thinking about it the other day, we keep talking about that all these big companies got the money, right, from the pandemic, the PPP. And that's true, but they also applied for the money, right? No one just said, oh, here, look, this big company, let's just write you a check. Someone applied. So it's a little bit backwards. So what I'm trying to do is focus on the people who may have gotten some PPE, but I'm going to guess your company did not get $10 million.
Not as far as I know.
So they haven't shared it with you yet, right?
They haven't shared a penny with me yet.
Exactly.
That's another time.
Maybe we can share some customers with you. So, and I know so I know your work. I'm really interested in the new work, the new piece of the pie, as it were, that you're working on. And I think other people will be too. So tell us a little bit about that as we move forward.
Well, I found that as we started to work more and more at home, starting in the end of March and pretty much all of April, I found that there was a problem that people were having. For example, when you're working in an office and you're physically sitting in that office, you're sitting behind the network infrastructure, the firewall, the access points, the servers. You're sitting behind it and you're protected the way you need to be. However, as we now all run home and we're working at home, either part-time or full-time, that network security doesn't exist. Because at home, you have a computer modem, and that modem may be coming from AT&T, Wow, Comcast, Spectrum, Charter, or any of the other multitude of vendors, that physical device has a firewall component built into it that only blocks ports. Now, just to clarify what a port is, there are approximately 24,000 different ports that can be utilized. Several of them will block certain types of inbound traffic. Some of them will allow outbound traffic. And depending on what the ports are used for and how they're configured and set up, we'll make a determination. The problem with these modems are you can't make any changes to the modem. You can't make any changes. And if you did have the credentials to log into those devices and you made a change, you could block all traffic, which means you then have to call the vendor on the phone and tell them you need to go in and reset the box, and then you're back to square one. So the solution to all of this is you need to have the right hardware physically on site at home. Now, a lot of businesses will tell you, we want you when you're home to connect into our VPN.
Right.
VPN stands for Virtual Private Network, allows a secure connection from your computer to your work office.
Right.
A tunnel, as it's called, such as for the non-technical individuals, be like running a network cable or a Ethernet cable directly from your computer to your office.
Correct.
A direct line, direct link. So once you're connected onto that VPN, all your traffic is protected by the VPN tunnel. However, for those people that are using their personal computers at home, there is no VPN. Or you hop onto the VPN during the course of time. I have to go out and grab some documentation from the company. So I hop on the VPN, I grab the documents that I need, I close the VPN, and I'm working on my home computer. Well, the problem is, without the network security in place, you are wide open to the cyber attackers of the world to try and attack. It's estimated that every 39 seconds of every single day, someone is attacking your modem, trying to get in the door and into your computer.
Well, that makes me feel so special. No.
Yeah, it used to be every 28 seconds. Now it's every 39.
Well, we're getting better.
Not really. So there are really 5 things that every person needs to have in their home network. Number one, if you don't do anything else, the one thing that you have to have is security software.
Right.
And you don't want the free stuff that comes out the door.
No.
You don't want to use the Windows Defender as your only line of defense. You need a security software that's a strong software package that's going to provide protection against spam, spyware, malware, phishing, and that's a phishing with a PH.
Right.
Spoofing, and ransomware. Now, ransomware is the worst possible type of infection you can get, because when that pops up on your screen, you are then told that you have to pay money in order to gain possession of your data. And they don't hold it ransom for $5 or $10.
No, it's hundreds and thousands.
It's hundreds. It's through a process called Bitcoin, which is electronic currency.
Right.
Very
So I have some background with this, not that I know how to make any of it work, but I was supposed to go to Israel with Governor Snyder and a group of major company CIOs, the chief information or security officers from some big companies. About 2 weeks after the Flint water crisis erupted. The crisis was there a long time before we knew about it. But when it all hit the paper and literally hit the fan, what a lot of people didn't know is that there were hackers going into all major companies at that point to try and get through different systems. And so I had packed on Friday afternoon. I was leaving Saturday night, and went to a friend's for dinner, and when I walked out of the house and I turned on my phone, I had about 30 different messages because every single person was canceling because their companies, and I'm talking like the auto companies and hospital systems, were all under attack. And none of those CIOs could be out of the country. Even though they probably weren't dealing with it one-on-one, the optics of it finished the trip, and we all stayed home. So I know a lot about cybersecurity with auto, and auto was the first place we heard about things that, that there are some like 200 or 500 computer cells and open spots in your car. But it's the same thing now on the computer. There are just so many open spots that things can pop in on. So I use Trend Micro. I'm not getting paid from them. I hope you think that's a decent software. I pay for it. As well as other things. I have like 3 different things I use because I'm a little bit kooky about it. So that's number 1. What's number 2 that everyone should have?
Okay. Number 2, you need to have data backup. So you need to back up your data. Now, you can back up your data in a couple of different ways. You can do it on a physical device, such as a flash drive or an external hard drive. You can do it in the cloud, which is copying your data up to a server somewhere that you don't know where is physically located, but that's in the cloud. And then 3 is you have a hybrid solution. And the hybrid solution is usually consisting of a physical device, commonly known as a NAS, or network area storage. It allows you to hold a tremendous amount of information that is then copied and sent up to the cloud. So the data backup is the key. Now, if you don't, for those individuals working from home on a personal computer, you definitely need the security software and the data backup, because if it's gone, it's gone.
So when you talk about cloud backup, you mean like Dropbox or
No, Dropbox is not a backup solution.
Okay.
I'm looking at something like a Carbonite, or a Norton has a backup utility. A Cronus has a backup utility. Those are software programs that can be used to back up to an external cloud.
And why don't you consider Dropbox to be an external cloud? Just because I'll learn while we're here.
Well, Dropbox doesn't back up your data. It's live data. And if you happen to go in and delete something and then try and go get it back tomorrow, it may not be there.
I see.
If you created a document 6 months ago and yesterday you made a modification to it and you said, darn, I should have kept the original, with data backup solutions, you can go back up to 6 months to recover the old version. Can't do it with Dropbox.
Okay. All right. So this is a lesson for me as well. Okay. Number 3.
Number 3 is a suggestion. For some of us, at least for me, I know, I don't have just one password or 2 or 3. I have many passwords. And my password list, I counted them the other day, was at 75. And they're all different passwords for different things, whether it's banking, whether it's internet sites that I go to, email accounts, because I don't have just one email account.
Right.
So where do I store that stuff? I can store it on a piece of paper and stick it on my wall. That is really secure. And so in case somebody breaks in, they can grab the sheet of paper and walk out, or take a snapshot of it. It could be on the computer, but if the computer is hacked and damaged, you're going to lose that sheet too. So we're recommending that you use a password keeper. It's a software program that will back up the data, either storing it on the computer or in the cloud. The cloud is a better solution. And the best part is you only have to remember one password. You don't have to remember the rest.
I keep saying I'm going to do that. Maybe that'll be my next activity.
There is a vendor out there. And if anybody would like information about any of the vendors that I'm working with, please send me a note and I'll be happy to provide that information that will give you a cloud-based account where you can store passwords that with a cost of, I believe it's $4 a month.
Oh, that's not bad.
Not bad at all. And that'll give you up to 6 accounts.
Oh, okay. Oh, so
It's designed for a family.
right. That's not bad at all. Okay. Well, I'm scrolling your contact information
Appreciate that.
below. And then I'm assuming, and we have to get to, let's go to number 4.
Number 4 and 5 are more like a combination.
Okay.
It is a physical firewall and a physical wireless access point. The physical firewall will block inbound traffic and control outbound traffic in any home or a small business environment. Now, firewalls can be in any size, whether it's an enterprise level of hundreds or thousands of people within a building, but for the work at home environment, it's designed for people working at home. And the firewall is adjustable in size because the more devices that are in the household means you have to go with a larger size firewall, meaning, it only supports up to a certain number of devices.
Right.
So we're offering 2 models of firewall for our work at home people. And then again, it's going to depend on how many devices there are. When we look at devices, we don't just look at phones and put the fingers on the right side, phones and computers and other devices. We have to look at everything. Everything includes smartphones, computers, tablets, laptops, and IoT devices. And IoT is called Internet of Things. Those are the wireless devices that are connecting in your household that are not a specific type of device, like a computer or a smartphone. Example would be Google Voice, a Bitdefender box. It will include Alexa or Echo. It can include Ring devices.
Don't say Alexa. She's going to wake up.
She's not nearby.
She's nearby me.
In addition to that, they can be programmable thermostats, light fixtures. You're going to turn on your oven or your microwave using Wi-Fi. You're going to adjust the temperature in your refrigerator. You can turn on outside lights. You can, with the Ring doorbell, you can actually see someone and talk to them through the doorbell. Those are all devices that are connecting to the Wi-Fi. So we have to create, without getting technical, we have to create something called a VLAN that will control just the IoT devices and have standard another VLAN that handles all the rest of the traffic.
Wow.
Now, I'm not going to go into the definition of what a VLAN is because we don't have time for that.
It's just it's a lot. It's a lot to figure out. And I think that when we thought we were going to be home for 2 or 3 months, it didn't seem like that critical. First of all, everybody was kind of on pause. But now that we think we're going to be working out of our homes at least for another 6 to 8 months, and some of us forever.
18 and longer.
These are really critical times to figure this out. So I think this was a really good conversation, and I'm hoping that when people, I know I'm seeing that people are watching it. I can see a little counter, but I know that people will watch it later as well. So if you have questions, these are really good times to ask the question. Because just like everything else, it's a lot easier to ask the questions up front than to figure out undoing problems from the back end. So
allow me to finish my conversation. I know we're short on time. So
sure, go ahead.
In addition to that, we have a wireless access point that goes inside the firewall because you want the wireless connections to be behind the firewall. They have the proper protection.
Okay.
Our program, which we have coined Safe at Home, allows us to work with you over the telephone with a remote connection and be able to send the devices directly to your home with an instruction sheet and cables as to how to hook everything up. So it does not require anyone to physically be in the office or be in the home with you. And we can do this anywhere in the U.S.
And are you thinking at this point that businesses should buy this for their employees?
Absolutely.
Or do you think employees are going to end up buying it themselves?
Well, I would think that businesses will ask their employees to expense this type of an account. And by the way, we charge on a monthly basis. Depending on the number of devices that you have, we can get the cost of this under $100 a month.
per home, per employee?
Per employee.
Okay.
Right.
You know, like I said, it's much better to do things proactively than have to fix things reactively. And when you talk about things, you know, it's one thing to talk about, like, you know, a graphic artist or someone who's working on, you know, different options, but then you talk about law firms and accounting firms that are working that have a lot more protection needed, that take care of all this in their office, right? You would never open the window literally at your office and just see what papers fly out the window.
True.
And that's really what people are doing right now. And these are the solutions that are necessitated by the times we live in. So
That's true.
No,
one last comment I want to share.
Yeah.
When this all started, because I also work in the area of cybersecurity through Elijah, I ran a cybersecurity scan of my home network before the firewall was installed.
Okay.
The report came back showing 65 vulnerabilities, where 5 is considered a lot. So after reading the pages upon pages upon pages of the reports, which I won't bore anybody else with, I found what the solution was, and after installing the firewall that we set up and configured, we reran the test, and there was 0 vulnerabilities.
Wow.
So firewalls will block any attempts from the outside.
So that's, you know, it's really critical right now. It just seems to be just another cost of doing business as we move forward into the future. It probably should have been there a long time ago already, because people always carry their laptops home, and, you know, it should just be something. And, you know, I have to tell you, there are a lot of people getting jobs right now in this time frame. And so it's also important, when you negotiate a package, to negotiate this into your package, if this is something that you want to make sure is protected, because it's really protecting you as much as it's protecting the company.
That's right.
And so it's not a lot to kind of negotiate into a package that the company provide the adequate security for your doing work at home.
Yes.
So that's very interesting. So tell me what do you, we have about 5 minutes left or so. Tell me what you see for sales as you go forward, and, you know, just, you know, what we think the next 6 to 8 to 18 months are going to look like.
Well, we're going to see more businesses reducing the size of their physical office space. So as more employees are working from home, instead of having a specific desk at the office to have, you may be having shared workspace. I can say that you know, one of my children, or my daughter, works for a large company, and today is going in and cleaning out her office space, because starting at some point in time in the future, they are going to have shared workspace. So she'll come in a specific day a week, such as Mondays and Wednesdays on a weekday, every third week.
Wow.
And she'll be working in the office, and the rest of the time she's working at home.
Wow.
The problem that she has at home, which is on my topic list to discuss, is that she does not have the proper home security. And she needs to talk with her employer to see if they will compensate her and pay her back for that. Because she's using, even though it's a business laptop, what she's using is the home network.
Sure.
And she will connect to VPN occasionally to get the information that she needs, but generally speaking, no.
And then when you're working on something, you're also, I mean, as you're dealing with the drafts and whatever, you're saving it on your home computer.
That's right.
You're not like reloading it into the system each time. So,
and the data sitting on that computer that she's using is company data. It's a company computer, but it's not being backed up.
Right. That's really, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's all
not just happening to her, it's happening to thousands of other people in the Detroit area and across the world that are having the same issues.
Right. So, we're recording this. We're doing this this Facebook Live on Monday morning. So I'll just say, welcome to another new week. It's just, sometimes it's more than we can handle, but we've just got to make do, and we've got to handle it.
The key to remember is work with your trusted IT professional.
Yes.
If it's not me and you're using somebody else, talk with them, find a solution with them.
Okay.
Some IT professionals don't work in the home environment. So you have to be aware of that too.
Oh, that's interesting. So I assume you're open to hear from new potential clients.
Yes, we are.
And I'm assuming this is how people would get a hold of you at john.isenberg@elijaht.com, and there's your phone number, or connect with you on LinkedIn, and you will, I know you're really good at reaching back to people.
Yes.
So
if you're interested in our Safe at Home program,
mm-hmm.
there is a spot on our website in the second tab across the top that will allow you to fill out a questionnaire, and then someone will get back to you as quickly as possible for additional information and assist you with moving forward.
Great. So any other thoughts on this Monday morning that we something that's, positive, what you think like each person can do today to make it a better day, whatever day you're watching this?
Each day, everybody can smile, think happy and positive thoughts, and say hello to somebody.
Okay.
That you know or don't know, and just see how everybody's doing.
Yeah. So if you connect with John on LinkedIn, tell him you saw him on this call, and make sure when you're going on LinkedIn and reaching out to connect with someone new that you're giving them a personal message. I'm kind of not accepting people without personal messages these days. And it's a really good way to connect. There are some nice things going on. I have connected with people that I haven't talked to in years. And so, Zoom and Facebook Live and all these things is a good opportunity to really reach out. And I'm trying like once a week to connect with someone that I haven't talked to, just because life gets in the way. But at least it gives us a good thing as we go. So that's my message today. I'm also, here I just want to put this in that you sent me. Here's the direct link for Safe at Home. Which is
probably better to send that to you directly.
Throw that. Well, maybe we won't throw that up there. So we'll do something else. Let's do something else. I did that wrong, but it's Elijah T Safe /Safe at Home.
Yes, it's www.elijaht.com/safe at home.
Okay. And anyone who wants to get in touch with me or connect with me on LinkedIn, I'm always happy to make a new connection. And if you want your business featured on Spotlight on Small Business by Hill Street Group, I'm happy to do that too. So just send me a note. So have a really good day. And thank you for this opportunity, John. And I hope you hear from some new people today.
Thank you, Pam. And yes, I hope I hear from someone I don't know today.
Exactly. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.